Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We'll be going through live order flow analysis using Bookmap. The whole goal here of the webinar is to use order flow to understand the auction process. We want to understand the participants' behavior in that auction. We want to understand, and if we can understand that, then we can start to understand where price might go, right? And that's the edge using order flow. And Bookmap can show you not only the price action, pure price action, but it will show you the transactions, and it will also show you where the liquidity is to create those transactions. All right, so another event here this week. Onboarding Bookmap webinars, we'll have 3 different times here, and we have 3 different hosts. Dan was supposed to be today. He was off today. It's a holiday in the UK, but Brandon will be on Wednesday at market close at 4 p.m. and then I'll be on Friday at 1 p.m. Now these are East Coast times. So if you're new to Bookmap, you have questions, you need to get up and running, connected to data, etc., download and install the program. We'll go through it all for you relatively quickly. It's a half an hour long video or webinar, and we'll get you up and running. All right, I'll have the link here for you. Just a minute here. And there's other links as well for all of these different events. But let me put them into the chat for you guys. Whoops, that's not it. Edit that one. Okay. Okay, hold on just a minute. All right, let's try that. Okay, that should do the trick. Also over in YouTube. Okay, and what we're going to go through in this webinar is the same process we go through in the Bookmap Academy, and in fact, it's going to be for Bruce's pilot program as well. This is a new program we have. If you guys are interested in this, let me put the link in here for you as well. You're invited. You will need to have Bookmap, it is a training program. It is kind of a subsector in the academy. To be honest, it's very focused. All right, so and you just sign up there. I put the link in there for you guys. It is also here over in Discord. There you go. More details on this coming out, but you will be using replay mode and the trading journal to build an edge and really home in on that, really understand your setup like the back of your hand, basically, and you'll know you have an edge. That's part of this process in here that we go through in the academy, and we start with the impetus. Number 1, what's moving the market? This is how you build out your edge, build out your playbook. It is through journaling. It'll be through back testing in that pilot program. So today what we're going to be doing is going through what's moving the market, looking at our key levels within that impetus, and then developing strategies and scenarios around those key levels due to the impetus here. And then we're finally getting down to our setup. The setup is the setup that's going to work for the strategy or scenario for the day. If it's mean reversion, if it's price exploration, if it's chopping different edges, if it's in a trend, whatever, that's the strategy that we want to select for the day. And then it's just our checklist. Grade our checklist, the setup, and then determine the sizing, the risk, and then it's execution with the order flow. All right, so let's go through the disclosures, and then we'll jump into the market. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Now, interestingly enough, you guys in the pilot program probably saw this earlier today. in the S&P E-mini. That's what we're looking at here. This move to the downside here. We're looking for, we're looking for key levels, okay? We're also looking for all of this liquidity on the bid getting filled. We want to understand passive accumulation, and this is what it looks like when you start to see things like this, or some of this, or this, some of this in here as well. We'll just have to zoom in and really verify it though, because we can't see it too clearly. This one's clear as day over here, but we really want to see it, right? Yeah, okay, so absolutely, this traded down here. Okay, we see the transactions right into it there, big transactions, right? That's this passive liquidity on the bid. These limit buy orders got filled. Okay, it looks like these ones over here did too. Some of them did. Yeah, in this area in here, some of them did, not all of them. So not the best one there. Okay, and let's zoom out a little bit more. Let's look at some others. Okay, so again, also getting filled in here on the bid. Now they kind of shied away from these two areas in here, but anyway, we're starting to see that, right? This area is great here, and this one up here as well. Anyway, we want to see this because this is where the sellers, the aggressive sellers, these red dots, are meeting the passive buyers. The transactions are taking place. Okay, now are we at a key level? 64.61. Let's jump over to our higher time frame, and we'll look at that in here. 64.61. That is the low here. Okay, see, this was you have to look at maybe the 15-minute here, or you can look at the hour too. And this is pre-market. This is the down in here. Okay, boy, I need to see a little bit more here on the hourly. All right, is it a key level in here? Not really, not very good. I would say down here is a little bit better. Somewhere around in this 54, and even then it's not so great. I don't really have that criteria there in this area in here. What I was looking for was, I wanted to demo this for you guys, and on the lower time frame though, if I looked in here, okay, you can see that there's a trend line break in here, and I really saw after this passive accumulation, I saw the aggressors starting to come in. And they started to break some structure. There's two areas that they broke here. Okay, if I draw a horizontal line there, and if I draw my diagonal line here. Now, don't worry too much about it being a trend line. It's a diagonal structural line. There's a horizontal one here. Both of them broke, and they broke on volume. Aggressive accumulation in here after passive accumulation. Okay, so it was starting to set up. I took a shot at it here, and it traded up into another area here, where I was looking for it to break out. It did not, I just took my profit up here. This structural area in here kind of failed, as you can see. It ended up kind of really bashing around in here, and then it went higher. But initially, I started to see it fail. I started to see some of the aggressors come in here, I just took my profits. In the end, you can see that this is held. This has held the whole session here so far. I don't really like it very much. I don't feel too good about this as a setup in here for today. It didn't really meet all the criteria for a number of reasons. It being right in front of the open, and not really knowing which way with all the volume that comes in at the open, it was I took a shot at it here, I got something out of it, and that's it. Move on, right? Reduce my risk, take the next one. Good morning, Shark. So anyway, this is a variation here of this setup. Didn't really have the higher time frame either. Okay, as we noted earlier, it was low of the day or cash session, but it was not a higher time frame level. We just saw a lot of accumulation in here. Anyway, moving on, right? Just wanted to cover that with you guys, those of you in the pilot program. This is what I saw this morning. And then this is my reasons for managing it this way. Okay, even though it did come up to the top of this range up here, spiked above it, and then now it's failed back in. All right, so anyway, let's move on. Still trying to add to the pilot program. Damien, I'm sorry about that. I will get you in there. I believe I have you on the list here. And you're signed up over in our and verified over on our Discord channel. Okay, so yeah, that's something that I'll get to you. I see it in here, I believe. Hold on a minute. Just want to verify that I've got captured your info. Actually, I don't really see you, Damien. So you did sign up in that form, huh? Okay, I don't know what email you might have used, but if I look up Damien, I'm not getting anything. Yeah, hold on a minute. There might be under another one here. Anyway, I'll reach out to you. You know, in Discord. No worries. I've got to reach out to not only you, some others. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's look at our higher time frames. Let's kind of map out the day here. Since we had this example in here, I wanted to cover it with you guys. And then what's happening right now? Good Lord, who knows? Like, it's just really pretty choppy. And what we do know, let's go back to the slide here. Market impetus. What's moving the markets? Well, it moved from Friday. It was Powell. It was the talk of him speaking about raising or lowering interest rates in the near future. Okay, the market responded very positively toward that, and now you can see that. Well, in the bigger picture here on the daily, it's pulled back. This was actually the pullback I thought we were going to get on Friday, and we ended up not getting it. It kind of just kept on grinding and grinding and grinding higher. Anyway, it has pulled back now, and you know, we need to kind of see how it's going to accept. Price is going to accept in these areas in here. So we're back up into the range where it broke from. You can see that you could draw a diagonal line in here. So we need to see some follow through to the upside if this is going to continue. And look at the wicks in here. We're getting wicks on both sides right now. Okay, so not really seeing a whole lot here. Let's just zoom out and bookmap a bit more. I've got up to 83 hours in here. So this is the bookmap data here, that you will get that much data. So you can see, I can zoom out and I see several days in here. And over the weekend as well. Okay, so here's how we ended on Friday, right? And here we are below it now, and just no key levels really to go off of right now. So we're gonna have to go off of what we see in today's price action to give us kind of a clue. Now, another thing to note in here, moves like this, the auction really is very incomplete in here. So what do I mean by that? Is like we whipped up through here very, very quickly. Massive move, up from here, 05 on up to 80 or 90. So we have like an 85 point move basically, from when Powell spoke. What this means is that these areas in here, they really didn't auction at all. There was no back and forth. Okay, so we need to see like what happens today and tomorrow, or if, in the next few days. Are we going to accept up in these areas and continue and not revisit this area down here? Or are we going to come back down and revisit and trade back down in here and auction, properly auction, and see if there's more buyers down in here? Okay, so that's what we're here to do today, and get a feel for it. Right now, it's looking pretty good that we kind of dipped down and we see a lot of buyers here supporting it. Okay, but we're not really seeing buyers up here now. We're kind of going back and forth in here. All right, so not really seeing anything fantastic right now. If anything, though, I would say like it's looking pretty bullish. We're still kind of growing higher. We have all of this liquidity in here that we mentioned earlier. Getting most of it getting filled on the bid, now, do we get the aggressors in here? And you can see there's some sellers, there's some buyers, there's some more buyers here. So there's still more buyers than sellers. So likely the move would be to the upside. And you're right, Pete. Yes, a gap fill. So let me, looking for this gap here to potentially fill back up to Friday here. Good call, right? I was looking at that kind of earlier, thinking, well, maybe these buyers will get the gap fill, and then maybe we'll see what happens after that. And you can see it's kind of struggling at the moment. We do see these wicks in here on the 15-minute chart, but it is kind of struggling. Okay, so here's our hourly, and then our daily. That thing is there. All right, there we go. Okay, so well, here we're starting to see new period, 15-minute period here is we're starting to see some buyers come in. All right, let's see. Oh, we're still in this range in here. Our market did pull off the bottom of that little move here. Okay, and now we're back down, right? So, and then now we're starting to see sellers in here. Okay, this is going to be a stop run. Anyone buying up in here is going to feel the pain on this. Good morning, Laura and Shark. All right, so starting to fill the bottom of this range in here. Okay, so we will see some buyers in there. Yeah, we did. All right, and these buyers, are they going to be interested in taking this all the way back up into 74? Okay, that would be like a scalp. Looks pretty good to me. I see quite a bit of buying coming back up above it. And let me see, any questions over in YouTube? How about icebergs and stops? Is this very helpful? Absolutely. I rely on them quite a bit, Andreas. And how do I use them? All right, well, let's take a look at some of these areas in here, right? Let's look at some of the swings, even on this price action in here. Okay, so we had a little stop run here. Okay, and we thought that would be a stop run, we have a bigger one here on the initial break of this, but you see buyers came right back in. Okay, now we're back down again in here, and we're seeing sellers. Okay, so we had a stop run here. We're still seeing sellers now. Okay, so if we can we're getting a small rotation here. All right, so here I'll just kind of demo this in here. Now again, guys, I will take a position here. It is in demo paper trading mode. It is not a trade recommendation. This is not a trading room. The idea here is we're still seeing sellers down here, and we had a stop run here, as you can see. Okay, price came back up, but it exhausted out here, and we're seeing more sellers come back in here. Okay, now if we exhaust out again, let's see. Okay, I would look for sellers to break this range, at least trade down here like a point or two, but we can get something even probably better than that. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, and so we know. Let's go through here now. This I may actually let's delete this one here. I'm going to remove it, cancel that order. Let's go through our process in here. All right, so instead of demoing some of these with a position, Impetus, what was moving the market, or what is moving the market? Well, it was Friday's activity. It was Powell, and quite bullish. So what's moving it today? It's, I think, an aftermath of that, and we did have a little bit of data come out about what, new home sales or something. You know, slightly better than expected. And what about the rest of the week? Well, we have some earnings. We have preliminary GDP on Thursday. We have core PCE, so inflationary data on Friday. So not a whole lot of data. This is very typical end of the month. You know, we're not going to get a lot of data. Usually it's the first couple of weeks. We had our big move. Now we want to see what the aftermath of that big move is with Powell, and the market's trying to figure it out. You know, we're trying to go along with how the market's trying to figure it out, and understand the order flow. Now we've gone through our key levels. Okay, we've looked at you know, some of these swing highs up here that on the daily, and then we talked about the gap here on the hourly and on the 15-minute or intraday, and then we talked about is this going to accept outside of Friday's range up here? So far it has. Okay, and if it does, well, then we won't get the gap fill. We're probably going to get lower prices. We'll probably come down to that 61 or 63, 61, 63 here for the cash swing, and then maybe even lower. Okay, so maybe down into 50, 57, maybe all the way. We can see a move retrace all the way back down here, and then, you know, kind of fill in this area in here, which is kind of like a gap as well, basically. All right, so we don't have any clarity at the moment with the higher time frame levels. Okay. All right, so what kind of scenarios can we develop from that? Well, we can look for and start develop or mark up some of our structure in here. And right now, I would be looking at something like this. You know, some of these levels in here. If we start to see the order flow and the transactions start to support a move back down here to, you know, some of these levels in here. Hold on a minute. All right, so let's see here. All right, so what do we got up here? Well, we don't have any transactions into high liquidity. We have high liquidity down here at 67. We're looking for sellers down here. Okay, well, you can see the order flow starting to come in here, and now we're seeing aggressors. Okay, push it back up. Okay, so pretty choppy still, and no insight, no clarity yet. Is this going to fail? Is it going to break out? Is it going to come up to 74? I don't see that unfolding quite yet. All right. Okay, buyers coming back in, top of the range here. Okay, let's see if we can get back up to see if those buyers can carry it up to 74 or 75. Yeah, I set my stops and icebergs to I prefer this setting. I like it a lot. Let me show it to you here. Okay, stops and iceberg subchart. It's on summation. Okay, which is, it works like cumulative volume delta basically. And I do not want to align my axes here. You can see they're different here. Here's 500 here on the stops down here. Here's, well, here's the zero line here. Here's the zero line here. That would probably be the best indicator right there, right? So icebergs, zero line is here. Stops, it is here. But what I do have here is context. Okay, look at the big stop run to the upside here. Look how that relates to the size of the iceberg transactions in here. Okay, this for me is very valuable. Okay, so maybe I just need to understand the big size of the moves relative to each other. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what I like. Okay, now you can look at another configuration. Someone like Scott Pulcini, for example, very, very different. He uses sliding. I think he uses 1 minute sliding. Okay, and then he also does align these to show up as being equal axes, so he can see the big spikes. Okay, big spike here within 1 minute, and then doesn't mean that there was a big spike to the downside. It retraced back down to zero after that 1 minute of data. Okay, so look at the icebergs coming in now, right? That's pretty big for right now. Okay, well, what does that mean? Well, we have larger players getting short in here. Okay, right in here. In fact, let's turn on our stops and icebergs on chart. Okay, it's already on. I just need to select it. It will present. Okay, so there we go, 193 up here, right? For the day, relatively, that's pretty good so far. Okay, now what about order flow? Well, we traded up in here. I don't see a lot of liquidity filling up in this area here, but you can see actually aggregated is 229 icebergs. And then now we're starting to see our sellers back down here. Okay, so, well, let's see. The seller's going to break this and trade back down into this liquidity down here. Not yet, right? All right, so yeah, we're staying away from it. We're looking for something that really gives us some sort of insight or edge here. And again, guys, I can't reiterate or underscore it enough. This is what that pilot program is all about. Take away the guessing. It would be something studied in here. You would know if you trade a triangle pattern, which we do have actually as one of the setups from the Learning Center. I'll show that to you quickly. Okay, just go to bookmap.com, education, and then it's actually one of these simple setups here. Just go to the supply and demand setups course, and then you can look for the wedge pattern here. Okay, and then start to study that in the pilot program, or with your replay mode, and use your journal together. Okay, that combination together will keep you so in tune to an opportunity in here, a potential opportunity. And right now, I'm not seeing it. It's looking pretty choppy here. All right. So, and again, how do stops and icebergs help me in here on this? Well, it would have helped me maybe down here. I'm looking for at an edge, liquidity getting filled, and then I see that iceberg here of 30, stop run of 106, and maybe a move back up to where it dropped from here. But that's again, like, still, I don't know how much supply is in here. You can say, yeah, okay, that helps a stop run. It helps that it's an iceberg in here. But when you really know is when you start to see, not only it's after this event, you start to see the aggressive buyers come back in. Okay, and now you're going with the order flow. Order flow takes precedence. Okay, stops and icebergs are a subsector of the order flow. Okay, and to be used that way, not as an indicator or a signal. All right, it is a confluence. You will understand, like, wow, okay, we just traded into a massive area of high liquidity. It was a big, huge stop run and a lot of iceberg transactions, and we see that sellers are coming in, they're trading it back into the range pretty hard. That's when you have this added confluence, a big one, right behind you. Okay, you've got wind at your back. Take the trade it down to either point of control, other side of the range, or even hold it for a break of the other side of the range. Yeah, you can see right now we're basically kind of between like a 69 and 73 right now. 4-point chop range in here, and nothing happening. So maybe we should look at another market. Anyway, just answering you guys' questions and keeping an eye out here. Let me see if there's any questions over in Discord. I made an error on Friday. I made several errors, Pete, on Friday. It was to demo kind of the concept of range breakout, range breakout, and it was a really bad time to try to demo that, the overall idea was that this had moved so dramatically on Friday that up in these areas up in here, I think I was looking at somewhere in here. It's like, wow, it came up to here. I'm going to be starting to look for a pullback, a lot of profit taking and a lot of some sellers up in here. Ultimately, I got stopped out on a few positions trying to just demo range breakout, and it just grinded higher in that area. Yeah, I mean, that was probably not a good time to demo that. Made some errors. My stop finally did hold for that last one, and made a little bit of money on that last position, but that was after the webinar had closed. But nonetheless, like Laura, it's like, geez, Laura, you called me out on that some weeks ago. It's just like, stop doing that. And I continue to do it just because I think it's quite powerful to show and demo it. Like this is how you can start to see, and instead of doing it in hindsight. Right, like if there's enough volume right now, for example, this should break out up into a new range, and then I'm taking a shot at it. So, and that range should be somewhere around 4 points, I would imagine. Okay, so let's see, right? So if this breaks out, we'd be looking for a swing to the recent highs up here, around 77 or so. To call a losing trade an error is an error. Well, it was an error that I wasn't. It was a demo. It was a demonstration, not a setup, and maybe it's more inappropriate than it is an error. I told her to shut it down on Friday. Alec, yeah. But anyway, like you'll see these things repeat so often that I feel quite confident in being able to demo it. Anyway, and another thing, Pete, this is really important, and retail traders, and I'm not throwing you in that category, like just saying, oh, all retail traders are like that. This is what I mean to say is the mindset is, oh, he got stopped out on a couple of trades, and yeah, this guy's no good. Everyone has losses. And it's the overall that matters. This is really a big distinction, and this is actually a big part of that pilot program. Really big distinction. Okay, let me show you, for example, what I mean here. And it is here the number of trades overall, right? So, for example, if I show you, oh God, I don't know, Laura or Shark, if you guys give me the go ahead to show. Or Trading is Life, to show your replay modes. Yeah, I'll just wait for a confirmation here. Yes, exactly. The outcome does not matter if you have the setup and you have the data behind it. Exactly. Okay, Trading is Life, you came in first. Also Laura. Okay, great. So check it out. Look, this is he's got 50 trades in here now. 50 trades. Trading His Life has 50 trades in replay mode. Now, replay mode, you could juke the numbers basically. But he went through it and he's been trading it really. Okay, Shark, you as well. Excellent. Thank you, guys. So I have that in the future as well. just so I don't have to always ask. Okay, thank you, guys. Really appreciate it. Because this is so great, and you guys are doing the work. You're showing it through the numbers here, and he was very honest early on. You can see, started actually in kind of mid to late June, and he kind of struggled back and forth. Started to get a feel for it here. A little bit of a setback. Got a real good feel for it here. A little bit of sideways action, and then really starting to understand it now. Okay, and he's understanding it here. Let me show his playbook here. I think oh, no notes. Okay, let me go back here. Let me show you Laura's. Anyway, you got the metrics in here. You got everything, and then mark up your charts. And now you've been marking up your charts, Trading His Life, I know. Look at Laura's. Same thing in here, kind of struggled, started to nail it, started to understand it. She's got 41 trades in here. A minimum is 20, just the minimum to get going in here. Anyway, look at this in here. Okay, this is beautiful. Here's your playbook in your notes. She's got them all marked up, each trade example. She knows exactly what she's looking for. Okay, there's going to be losses in trading. It's the overall though. Okay, and overall, this kind of work is what gives you this kind of equity curve, and you're building out an edge objectively, right? So that's what we're looking for in here. One trade, two trades, doesn't really matter. A handful is getting better, but it's the overall. So for example, on the overall, this is looking pretty good now. for a move lower, right? Now we'll see though, like maybe it just trades into high liquidity in here, gets everybody trapped, and if it comes back up above like the 72 level, look out. You know, we'll probably come back up into the highs of the day here. Okay, we don't know yet. This happens all the time. Okay. All right. So anyway, I wanted to make that point. You hear it all the time, and you know, traders will tell you, oh, you know, you be the casino, not the, you know, the gambler. You know the numbers, etc. Well, how do you do that? Well, we got a program that'll take you through that process. I'm quite happy about this plan, this pilot program, because of that. You know, I think we have something that is pretty. I think it's pretty straightforward, and I think it's pretty unique. You know, everyone tells you to backtest, but they never show the process. Well, we got a process that allows you to trade it actually in replay mode. So not only do you get the numbers by the activity of trading it, you know, you can go back, you can build out your playbook, and you're playing another hand of poker, basically, getting that another instance underneath it, and keep doing it. Run up after the setback is fire. Nice. All right. So anyway, that was Laura's. That was trading his life's. We've got sharks as well in here. Let me show that one. And is it here? Hold on a minute. There we go. Okay. Yeah, here's a forward testing one. So, and this is the process, guys, just so you know, right? You've got replay mode. You start with that. You start to build. We provide you the files for replay mode for the setup. The setup is the trend line and the trend line break and accumulation. It's on the Learning Center. It's under the supply and demand setups course. Just that one setup. Super simple. Focus only on 4 elements, and then you got the replay mode where you're going to start to build that confidence, understand what it looks like, and then once you get at least 20 instances or more and you feel comfortable, you know what you're looking for, you can go into forward testing. Here is Laura's forward testing. This is live market. It is in demo though. And she's building even more confidence as she's seen it play out in the real market. Now, your learning curve in here between there's 2 different journals she has here, right? One is forward testing and one is replay. And you're going to be able to apply what you've learned from the replay into the forward testing. Okay, she's got 40 trades in here, right? Now she has moved on into the live trading now. Okay, that's the 3rd step, and you do that on small size and build your confidence, because now there's, you know, going to be some hangups along the way mentally about live market and maybe ego, or there's going to be excess baggage, but you're going to trade small so you don't bring as much of that baggage. You overcome it, and then you get a feel for it in that live market, and you're going to rely on your hold on a minute, guys. All right. Yeah. So yeah, I was just getting a call here. All right. Anyway, you're going to build that confidence in here, and then you have all these instances behind you now to make that confidence. You've done the work, right? Now you've got something, right? And look at this in here. Instead of like blindly taking some of these like trades in here, you'd look at this and go, yeah, I'm not interested. Like I'm not going to put risk on for that. No way. So we don't know. When we have something we know a little bit more about, we'll take it, right? So I saw something in here earlier. It wasn't the greatest at all, but it was something I could get a little something out of it, and I did. And I moved on. Yeah, this ended up kind of working, but for certain reasons, I got out because I'm not going to take the risk before the cash open, and I didn't know. And I didn't like the passive accumulation. I did not like the higher time frame level. Okay, it wasn't the best. So it was a low grade setup. But I took it. I built a little confidence in here, hoping knowing that I did not make it was not an A+ setup, allowed me to still learn, but knowing that it's not an A+. So if I had a loss, I would know that. I would not let it bother me much. I would move on. Also, the take profit in here. Like I know it's not the best, but don't get overconfident with it. These are big distinctions. So yeah, we were just talking about this in here. Okay, look at this. Look at the selling coming in. Well, there could be more buying that comes in on the other side in here, and that's exactly what happens right now. Is happening. All right. So anyway, yeah, avoiding the chop and staying out of trouble here. And need to look at another market, Pete. Pete, I saw you're partaking in it as well, which is just excellent. I need to get back to you on that. I got back to a bunch of people over the over the weekend on Sunday evening. I'll get back to you guys. Damien as well. Geez, sorry. All right, and then you're looking at your profile in here to study. Yeah, I don't really know quite what you mean by this in here. Anyway, to me it looks like it's outside of the scope of the program, but not sure. So I'll have to reach out for more details, Pete. I mean, that's a whole different setup. Like, and this is something, Pete. Let me go through this because we're not really seeing much right now. We'll probably have to jump over to like crude oil or gold or something here, or maybe Nasdaq. Maybe the Nasdaq's moving a bit. Let's just take a look at gold, and then we'll also open up crude. I don't know what contract we're on with Crude. Do you guys know? I can look it up quickly. I know the Z contract on gold. Okay, it looks like the V contract, October. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, we'll see. So what was I going to say here? Oh, yeah, let me just show you this, because like this is really that might be a very interesting or compelling setup, Pete. But what we're doing in here, this pilot program, is very specific. Okay, it is one setup. It is only 4 elements. It is this one here, trendline break and accumulation. And we're looking for only these four things. If you want to bring in or do another study based on what you're talking about, then that would be a whole. I would learn this process in here with the trendline break and accumulation, then move on to your next. After you've really gotten this process down, then move on to your next study. And that's it. And then use your this study. Let's see. No, I get what you're trying to work on, the psychology part of it. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if we're on the same page here, Pete. I don't know if I'm quite getting what you're saying at this point. But if you're looking at some sort of other higher time frame or bar study, etc., then use it for the replay mode and the journal. Get very specific with it. Like the setup here, this setup here, it's only 4 criteria. I'll show you. First one is this: passive liquidity getting filled. Number 2 is higher time frame, and they're kind of coincide with each other. Here, 21,000 here in the NASDAQ. It even went below it. It's a stop run here. We don't have stop run as a part of it. Okay, that would be a whole nother study or a whole nother setup. And then we're looking for a break of the structure. Okay, there it is here. And there's another horizontal one here. And then we're looking for the buyers to start to accumulate with the aggressive buying here. These are the ones moving the market, right? And then they will charge up after high liquidity on the offer. Then we've got all 4. And then we start to look for, taking the trade and managing it. That's it. Okay. And just repeat again and again and again. Nothing else on the chart. Just those elements. Nothing else. Simple as it can be. Right. And that will keep you away from all of this chop in here. I mean, heck, you can make a case, for fractals of it for sure. I mean, here you can see that high liquidity getting filled in here, here, here. It's a break of the trend line. I really don't see the aggressors coming in until here, maybe a little bit here, but it hasn't really, it's broken the diagonal. I would look for it to break this one though. Then they get it, and then it trades up into high liquidity here and here, right? Great. Okay, it's working. You're out though. You only got like a few points out of it, 3-4 points out of it, which is, that's good. And maybe it's turning into a flag pattern now, right? It traded into this high liquidity here. And now, do we get a flag pattern? It's a whole different setup, right? Now, you'd look for a flag pattern to be a breakout though of the area. I wouldn't say this is enough here, really. If it broke out of this area here up at 74 with an impulse move and then a pullback, that would be a lot better. All right. So anyway, you can look for those aggressors in here. Heck, okay, let's do it. Let's take a shot at it here. and looking for a move up into some of this high liquidity up in here. Okay, now, not much, not looking for too much, maybe a move up into 70, 76 and a quarter or so. Okay, and I don't really like it either. I'm in a little late as well, so it might just chop up in here for a while. Okay, but anyway, just to demo this, and let's see if we get this breakout here. Again, this is a demo. It's not a trade recommendation. It's not a trade calling room in here. Okay, but we just went through this whole process, and we'll put something behind it here. Okay, it's in demo mode, but let's see. How would you get in? Where would you get in? Probably be better to get in here on a pullback right in here. Okay. Now let's see if we get that accumulation again by these buyers up at the top edge to be able to break it and trade up into these areas up in here. Okay, and hit that high liquidity up here. Okay, good buyers. Let's see that follow through now. Okay, and then let's look at a measured move in here. Actually, we did measure it here earlier, but we'll keep that. This range and then this range here, and that matches up with liquidity. Okay, this is an easy way to start to use the heat map with your targets. Okay, start to understand where it might go, and is there liquidity there? Pete, I don't know if I quite get what you're saying here. Okay, you don't like to participate in any chat rooms now. Okay, well, you don't have to. Clearly, it's your prerogative. I think though, like very objectively though, like there's something to that training and the pilot program. You don't have to participate in it, but that's not about just trader psychology. This is about numbers. It's about going through a process. Okay, that's pretty objective, I think. Anyway, I think so. I objectively think it is, if that makes sense. Anyway, all right, so you can see how it's kind of struggling up here. There's still more buyers up here, and we've retested and we're coming back up again. So that now we're looking for more buyers. Okay, are there buyers here? Can they break this here? So we just trade up here. A transaction did take place up here, but it immediately failed, right? Okay, now let's see if we get another retracement back up to the top edge here and then a breakout. Yeah, Shark. In terms of that trendline break and accumulation, it can be a really good reversal. A lot of times you'll also see it be kind of it is a reversal setup, right? In a bigger time frame though, you will probably see it as a you can see it as a continuation, or you can see it also as a counter trend. Okay, a lot of times it might be just a pullback and a reversal on a fractal within the bigger trend. So for example, this one here from the setup in the learning center here, this one was clearly a pullback on a much higher time frame, because this thing went from 21,000 to 22 or 23,000, I think. right? So this was a pullback, and it was, you know, it was a 200 point move. So that was basically a pullback within the higher time frame. But I know what you're saying. You're saying like it's also a pullback. It could be a nice counter trend or mean reversion type of thing. Could be. Okay, so now if we don't get the move here on this rotation here, I will likely just get out of this, because like we've seen this so many times, you just don't get the buyers at the higher highs, and what you do is you'll get a flush out back down into these areas in here, and then it turns around and comes right back up, right? So we got to see the buyers here. Okay, it's auctioning there. It's doing it. Now let's see the follow through. Okay, I want to see a stop run out of this as well. It's starting to kind of, you can see a little bit of a spike up here in the stops. See how we're not getting those buyers? Not getting them. All right, I'm just going to exit that then. See, maybe we'll get one more tiny rotation higher and then the push. There we go. All right, so now we got a little bit of sellers in here. They're going to be stopped to the upside here. So let's see the stop run here. You can see the stop run here. See, again, this is someone was asking about how to use the stops. This is helping to confirm what I'm looking for, right? And I'm still looking for stops to be triggered and go higher up into 76 liquidity up there, and then get filled. All right, so we got filled at 76. And that's it. We're on to the next. We're flat, and we're on to the next setup after that. All right. Let me see any questions on YouTube. Yeah, let's jump over at some of the other markets here. Actually, this might be a failure outside now. Let's see. And we could actually see some see a nice move all the way back down into 68 or so here potentially. Anyway, well, let's jump over to we'll look at the NQ as well. Gold going a bit higher. Also quite choppy though. See how gold did this, right? Traded up into, looks like it's going to break out, right? And traded up into a big, transaction into high liquidity here, and then look at the buying up here. Just that's it, and we see the move all the way back down. Okay, actually it didn't come down to this 34.18, and then buyers bring it right back up. Now the likelihood, if we get more buyers back up here again, and we've got some sellers on the hook here, so I'd look for this to push a little higher, maybe hit 21 at this point. Okay, so let's see if we can get that and see if we get our buyers up here, right? And who's buying here? These guys are the buyers, right? This is how these market rotations happen on these kind of choppy days. Okay, I firmly believe that. Like you'll see these areas test, they'll test. People get stopped out, they feel the pain. Then you get new buyers up in here, then they feel the pain. There are sellers down here. Sellers down here are now buyers up in here. Okay, at least initially, and then we need to see if we accept or reject above those areas. All right, let's see any other YouTube questions. No, I guess we're good. And look at the relative volume too, right? So all these big transactions are happening at the extremes, and it doesn't really look too convincing here. And look at the bars down in here. And I don't really see anyone really driving the market, in control of the market. Okay, what about crude? Let's take a look. Same thing. So guys, just kind of a crappy day. Let's get rid of all this spaghetti. Still going a bit higher here. Alec, no trades today or Friday, and you're fine with it. That's great. It's great to hear. I mean, see, that's a position of power. Let's see, Cal, you said you had saw some really big absorption on Sunday evening. Well, I have 83 hours in here on Bookmap data. And what time? East Coast time, or CT, you say 11 p.m. So midnight here. I guess this one. Yeah, a big volume dot of about 1,300. Hard to say. Huge transaction, but market doesn't move. So someone took the other side of that. I don't know. That almost looks like it's not a dark pool transaction. They're only in stocks, but it's kind of like that potentially. But, here, let's just zoom right in. I don't know if I'm going to get all the details in here. Yeah, here we go. So you see very, very high liquidity, and the sellers take it, right? And there was how many contracts here? Well, I'm showing like about 1,000 almost here, right? And then this transaction takes place, and there's still more in the book here. These 996 are still there. So 1,000. So they're still in the book. And then it looks like, no, actually it looks like if we're down to millisecond levels here, or microsecond levels, yeah, no, that transaction took place. You can see the 996 right here. Right, so yeah, it took place, and what happened after though, right? That's really the kind of the key, and nothing really happened. More liquidity down here. Here's another 1,000. Here's 600. Okay, what's the reaction to it? Well, this repelled the price action to trade higher. Right, high liquidity on the offer filled. Okay, they're in again, they're in again. Now it looks like, you know, the table's kind of flipped here, right? Now we do see the transaction starting to take place here. Okay, here, this is a lot less though, right? A lot less. Now at that point, 93. This is still 1,000 down here. And did it transact? Yeah. Looks like that transacted. So, you know, this is, again, something that you can take a look at. Here, actually, it's they pulled a lot of that here, right? So here are the transactions right over here. We can zoom right into it. So only 46 of those transacted. You know, so I don't really know, you know, what's going on in some of those areas. Okay, but mark it up and take a look. Yeah, it's pretty awesome, Cal, to see that stuff. Like to see the icebergs and they're just getting filled like that. Yeah, I love it. It's a little hard to ascertain, especially on the overnight. It's kind of diffused during the cash session. All right, look at this here. All right, so we're still finding our buyers in here. They're willing to take it higher here. But again, like, who are these buyers? You know, after the rotation back down in here and these sellers down here, they pull away and we do find the buyers. We pull back, we do find the buyers. Do we find enough though to really, do they really want in and they want to move this market? And I'm not too convinced by that yet. Yeah, I would mark up those areas, Cal, and then, you know, see how it works out. Like let's just for example go back here at midnight and let's mark it up with a channel right here, right? Yeah. Right, and then edit it. And you know, you can really gain some insight in here. This is something that Shark was doing as well on his footprint charts and starting to mark some of these areas in here. And that's exactly where we're trading right now. What kind of impact do we have on the market here? Does it have on the market? Still finding buyers, still grinding higher. It's a grind. Okay, now based off of this previous price action in here, a grind, buyers at new highs, pullback. Grinds higher, you know, volume at higher highs, pullback. I would look for a pullback as well. Okay. Now look, again, you know, as a study, I will take that to show and see, right? If are we going to get that, or are real buyers now going to come in? You know, and if we do, we're going to get stopped out real quickly. Like this will just rip right through, right? But now the thesis after looking at this in here is that this grinds higher, finds new buyers, but they're not necessarily real new buyers here. So now we're going to have to rotate lower to find some sellers, and then they will turn into buyers, or these buyers up in here are going to turn into sellers down here. Okay, and we're gonna play it. And now this is a counter trend move. Okay, but it's based off of the behavior in the auction that we're seeing here. Okay, maybe this is a little too lofty. Maybe it's here that we should look for 77-ish area, this swing here. Right. In fact, let's just do that, because the webinar is going to end here in a little bit. Okay, so just looking for, like, that's basically just a point, right? But we're looking for a pullback, and we have our reasons for it. And we don't know, but based off of what we just looked at, we're looking for these buyers to kind of be sellers in here, have it kind of grind down here, find buyers again, and then, you know, feel these sellers down in these areas here will feel the pain and be buyers at higher highs. I don't know. Look, does that make sense? Are you guys following along? On these kinds of grinding days here. All right, so we're filled. Now we're not looking for much, and you know, it's just a point. I would actually look for a little bit more out of this, but I kind of like the 76 swing down here. All right. Anyway, guys, it's a part of the market. You know, and sometimes it's a big part of it. As those that feel the pain, you know, they have to cover, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to get like this huge move. You just get the stop run, and then we need to see what happens after that. Like right now, we haven't had that stop run. See how we do see it in here? Okay, so it hasn't happened yet. Okay, we're actually getting the stop runs to the upside, and then it pulls back. Guys, I'm going to go back to, I really like my setup in the sub chart here by not having it aligned, and I can see this so much clearer for me. Right, the cumulative volume delta of each one and the axes are not related. Okay, so I'm going to go with that. No meat on the bones today, Alec. Yep. All right, well, we got out just in time, right? Instead of us getting caught up in the squeeze. Okay, now that should be a little stop run, and it is. And it's not as good as some of these others. Ah, right. Okay, so Gambit, or you're asking about on the sub chart here. So there's different modes in here, accumulation modes: sliding, summation, exponential, reset, and same side, same side. So I like to go with this one here. Like I said, it just shows the two different axes here. They're not related. But I do have a visual in here about how big the icebergs are and how big the stops are in reference to each other. So I prefer it, but other traders like to look at sliding, or you know, maybe the reset, you know, I would go with sliding instead of reset, and then align the axes so they are aligned now. The 0 point is here. This is 300 here. So how many icebergs do you see spiking? And then how big are the stop runs in here? And you can see these stop runs to the upside, and then it pulls back. Stop runs to the upside, it pulls back. Okay, it kind of resets back to 0 after that minute. So look at this one here. So this one's not as big, right? And so, you know, I would kind of wait for a bigger one. I do see the high liquidity trading here, but you know, it's probably gonna, you know, I'd look for a bigger one before I got involved in that. Now, guys, this all, we didn't know this was going to happen. This move to the upside here, but we saw something happening here, right? And in fact, that was where we thought this could turn into a continuation trade. So that's why we got in here, and then we got out up here. Yeah, right here, right? So I just took it for a few points, couple of points up there, and that was it. But this continuation pattern really followed through nicely here, really nicely. You know, we didn't know that, right? But again, we can pull away from, and this just doesn't look so great to me, but we can pull out of this though the same concepts that we've been going through about, you know, all of these sellers in here having to be buyers up in here, and they're getting grinded out here with stop runs. We didn't, you know, we stayed out of all of the chop in there. Anyway, you know, now we're up higher, and this was where the reversal kind of took place, and we saw it here with the trend line break and accumulation on a smaller time frame. And then you would take your profit up here. That's it. You'd be out of it. But it turned into kind of a continuation pattern here. Or, you know, I don't know. On a smaller time frame, it would be a continuation pattern. We noted that it's still within the range in here. So, you know, take it for what it is. Anyway, yeah, seemed to work out pretty nicely here. All right, guys, I'm going to move this back to summation, and I just really prefer it. Now I can really start to understand that reference in here. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up here. See if there's any last questions. Nope. Lauren, you're going for the 80 liquidity. That's already traded. Good call. Good call. How about higher time frame? Okay, so that gap fill, how about that? That would be a little higher here, 83. Right, 83.50. Looks like it. Looks like it's going for it. All right, guys. Well, anyway, we'll wrap it up. Thanks everybody for coming. Guys over on YouTube, hit that like button, please. You know, subscribe to the channel, or better yet, just come on over to our Discord channel and partake in the discussion over here. Resources, it's all at no cost. So we'll need to verify your email with bookmap.com or over at bookmap.com. But that's it, right? And then you would get access to just about everything over here. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye-bye.